What's up, everybody? It's yours truly, Rico Vibes. This is Take 5. I got a special guest in the building, Mr. Shane Talon of Black Talon. What's going on, bro?
What's up? You good?
Let's get closer to the microphone.
Yeah. Audio check.
I'm good. What's going on with you?
Not much. Relaxing.
I mean, I shudder to ask. Are you still a active DJ or are you part-time DJ or what?
I'll say kind of active.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to say semi-retired.
Semi-retired.
But by choice, because, man, Rico, I've been DJing since I was 14 years old.
Are you serious?
Yeah, long time.
So don't tell me you're tired of it now.
No, I'm just not tired. It's just, other things take priority now,
I mean, you got two daughters and all that.
And they're young, so.
Yeah.
It take a lot of time and like weekends are very important.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been DJing since I was 14 years old. I've been a professional DJ since I was like 18, 19.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't want to give away my age, but I've been on the road for like 20 years.
well, take us back through the journey. Walk us through the journey. You started at 14.
Yeah.
What inspired you to really want to do this?
Well, hey, what the funny thing is, so obviously most people know I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Right.
But, like Trinidad is one of the most mixed up islands out of the Caribbean, so
a lot of different nationalities and stuff like that, right?
Majority Indians, Africans, and then you have like the Chinese, Syrians, and we're right next to Venezuela.
Right.
So there's a lot of Venezuelan mix from them coming over the years and stuff like that. So my grandmother's father on my mother's side is actually from Venezuela.
Okay.
But he came to Trinidad. I guess he did his little thing and he went back there. So my grandmother never grew up with him, and she never learned the Spanish, obviously. But I grew up with Spanish music because my mom, we always kept that alive, and ever since I was like 12 or so, up to now, my mom is a dance instructor.
Really?
Yeah, and she specialized in Latin dance.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
is she still in Trinidad?
Yeah. All my family is still in Trinidad.
Okay.
Well, we'll get to that just now.
Okay.
So she was actually one of the first in Trinidad to start doing Latin dance classes, teaching. So this is like the early 90s. So teaching like. She
obviously didn't teach you because I've seen you dance.
Well, I just slow step now. I kind of slow now, but actually, it's a funny story because she started teaching like when I was around 12. Merengue, bachata, salsa, all the good stuff. But at that time, I was doing karate.
Really?
I was still in karate. Yeah, I was in karate from like 7 years old.
Okay.
Till 12. So by 12, I was a black belt.
Wow.
Yeah, I still know some moves. If I hit you in the right spot, you're not.
Wow.
But
folks, don't mess with Shane Talon.
Yeah, but a little slow now, so you might be able to dodge it.
That's funny.
Yeah. So she started teaching when I was 12, and I was like, all right, this is cool, whatever. And then one day, because she was teaching at the house, so we had a little porch, and it's an upstairs and downstairs house. So one day I'm just coming downstairs while she was having one of her classes, and then I was like, wait, there's a lot of girls here, So,
right.
And like being a young teenager and something like that, I mean, nothing piqued interest more,
Yep.
Yeah, that age. So I was like, But I didn't really pay it no mind, but I was like, okay, it sparked my interest. And then one day she was like, it was like so many girls, she needed more guys, because when you dance, the guys lead, right? So she needed more guys to come in the class to like partner up with the girls. So one day she asked me, she's like, why you don't come help me in the class and stuff like that? I need more guys, because she was doing the man and the woman part, so she knew how to lead. And so she asked me, so I was like, so then a bell went off in my head. I was like, yeah, but it's a lot of girls there. Let me go see what's up.
Right.
So I end up going. like 12, 13 years old and learning. I picked up like really the merengue and the bachata and stuff is not that hard. The salsa takes a little more time, so that took me a little longer. But by the time I was like 14, I was moving around. I was moving around pretty smooth. And me and my mom actually did like a couple exhibitions in Trinidad and
really.
And so yeah, because it was getting popular, and she was like no, everybody know like Latin Mags. That's her name.
Latin Mags.
Yeah, so
okay.
everybody know. Yeah, go check Latin Mags if you want. And she had a whole crew, and they would go and showcase the dances, and eventually I would go. So every summertime they used to have this Latin party on Thursdays at the Attic. It was a popular spot for Thursday nights. Spanish people, a lot of Venezuelans and stuff was there. So I used to go there with her during the summer, and I would dance and stuff, but I'll always end up by the DJ booth, and I would just stand up there and just watch the DJ play and stuff like that, and like coming down to the. Like after a while, he used to see me there every week. So coming down to the end of the night, I'd be like, I can mix two tunes, and he'd be like, yeah, come, let me show you. And then he showed me how to cue it off and stuff like that. And with the Latin music, it's just like a lot like the soca, where they have these long intros.
Right.
So it's easy to like if you're trying to learn how to blend music, it's perfect. Like you remember these soca 12 inches had these
long
5-minute intros where you could
these 8 and 24 bars.
Yeah, so you can learn. So I actually started mixing Spanish music first.
Really?
Yeah, so like merengue and stuff like that. And then at first I couldn't really blend too clean, but I understand the concept. But your ear has to train. Because it's not like now with the sync button
and watching the bars
watch
and all
the
that.
BPMs and just match it up. You actually train your ears to mix.
So this is record days, obviously.
So that like people, if you want to know why DJs wear one ear on and one ear off, that's what they had to do.
Yep.
And then like one night I think he was like, it was in the middle of the party, like hot and steamy party ram, and the DJ's like, yo, I have to go pee. Just mix this song with this song. And I guess he thought like I would have done all right, but I don't know what happened. But I guess I was like, oh shit, I can't mess up right now. Right, the party's swinging, and then especially it's not like playing dancehall or somewhere like man just bubbling. You remember you dancing with a girl, so like
so you have to keep it on.
Yeah, so if you miss the beat, they miss their step.
Yep.
And then everybody gonna turn and be like,
Yeah,
so
you're
like
right.
shit, I gotta get this down. So I take my time, do it. Blend in the tune. I was like, because you have the monitor. I was like, oh, it's on beat, and like it's just something about that night. It just catch me where my ears started to be in sync with everything.
Gotcha.
And I mixed one song. He came back. He's like, oh, that song good. Mix this one, and I maybe played for like 10, 15 minutes straight mixing the tunes, and then from then on, my ears was just in sync.
Wow.
And
this was what age?
Like 14, 13, 14, yeah.
Okay.
So from then on, then I like played around with it, then like got into more genres, like the soca, started practicing buying like little records. I had like 2 rinky-dink turntables at home. But by the time I was 17, 18, man, I was on point with the mixing,
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I got into more the like the reggae and the dancehall and the songman culture. The studying the song clashes and stuff from Jamaica, and then
you were still in Trinidad at this time?
I was still in Trinidad. Okay. And then everybody like the big name as far as Trini's going, it was Babyface.
Right. Right. King Addies, yeah.
King Addies and stuff like that. So you start hearing. And that time too, the song culture in Trinidad was coming up too. This is like the late 90s. So we actually had song systems, starting to cut dub plates and stuff like that. So like it was a big movement going on in Trinidad at the time. So it was buying 45s every week and stuff like that. And then then I actually moved up here. The plan was I just wanted to go to school. Like most Caribbean kids, you come to America to get a better better education.
What did you want to study?
I didn't even care. I just wanted to come.
Really?
I had some friends and stuff up here. Like they were actually in New York, and then that's where originally I was supposed to go because they were up there. And then like months before I came, they moved to Atlanta because they got jobs down here, and that's how I ended up here.
Wow.
And I actually don't regret it because the first time I went to New York, I was like, man, this place is cold. Not for me. It smelled.
Where did you go, Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you do feel more at home because, there's so many
Trinidadians there. Yeah, exactly.
And you get the food. And so that was the only good part. But I was like, man, I'm so glad I didn't come here. No disrespect to the New Yorkers. And, everybody, over the years, because... I linked up with the other guys from Black Talons, and they were based in New York. A lot of people thought I was from there.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But I never lived there. And,
How long you ever spent there?
Huh?
How long you ever spent there?
I used to just go up to visit.
Oh,
like I couldn't stay too long. I didn't like it. I was like, even during the summertime, I was like, it just.
Well, it's worse in the summertime.
Yeah, I did, and then I went to. Years later, I went to like Long Island and over there. And I was like, all right, this is a little decent, but it's still just it wasn't for me. So I ended up in Atlanta. The plan was I didn't really know what I wanted to study, and I came up on a regular visa, and I was trying to get schools to transfer my regular visa to a student visa.
Gotcha.
And most schools were saying, well, you gotta be here for at least 6 months to a year. You gotta show this, you gotta show that. But at that time, I don't even remember DeVry.
Yeah, DeVry.
DeVry University.
Yeah.
Well, I guess all they care is about if you could pay tuition, because it was more
most schools are like that.
Yeah. But it was more like a. So there's like once you get paid, they ended up helping me change my visa over, and that's where I went for a couple of years, and I was studying. At that time, it was a big deal, telecommunications.
Yes.
Now it's kind of obsolete,
Yeah.
But that's what I studied. I actually didn't finish because I ran out. Well, at first my uncle was paying for school, and then things happened, and then to be honest, when I came to Atlanta, this was 2001. That's when I moved there. I just was doing just one day. I didn't even plan to play music because you remember them times it was still vinyl.
Yes.
All my vinyls were still in Trinidad, stuff like that. It's not like you could just go, yo, let me copy a hard drive or burn some CDs.
Nope.
So you had to have physical records at that time. So I wasn't really planning on. I was buying a couple stuff while I was here. More the hip hop stuff that some stuff I couldn't get in Trinidad and stuff, but I didn't have enough to think. But then I started buying some little 45s over by Unity and these places. So I had got up a little thing, and I just planned to make some mixed CDs or something like that. And then I ended up at you remember Duplex on Cheshire Bridge Road?
Yes.
Right. So my family, that's where actually they used to work. Like my friends who I know that was living here, and they needed a DJ one night, and it's like, yeah, Shane DJ, but I didn't. So I just brought what I had, and I was just playing some little music and stuff like that. Made a little CD, and at that time, Trends Leon, they were now coming up too. They had done a couple events, and they was actually looking for a place to do some parties and stuff like that. And they came in one day, and we talked and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I just made a CD, yo. Just hold it, take it, play it in your car, whatever. And if I remember correctly, he called me while he was in the car before he even reached home, and he was like, yo, youth, your body, I can't even tell when the next song coming, you mix clean. I want to book you for my event and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, yeah, for real? I was like, all right. So then, like, I ended up calling my father. I was like, Dad, I need all my records shipped up here.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so he ended up, like, FedExing, like, boxes of records.
Wow.
But the funny thing was, you know, in Trinidad, you know, is I didn't realize till I started to go to events here that, like, this is like 2001, but, like, you know, in the islands, you could play certain tunes where you couldn't play, and I didn't understand the concept until I went to events here. So, like, I had so much records, but I was going through them. Like, I was telling my brother, like, call out the records, the ones I wanted to bring up here. So, like, I was just bringing up all the big tunes that I knew that was in Trinidad, you know?
Gotcha.
So, I mean, like, some of them were, like, big tunes here, like the Junior Kellys, and, like, If Love's So Nice and all those tunes. But, you know, in Trinidad, you could go deep into the culture music. Yeah. You know, you could do a whole segment of Sizzler and Anthony B and these guys, you know. Up to now, they one of the few places that still appreciate, like the reggae, conscious reggae. Like, they have a big concert coming up this month with Sizzler and Anthony B and all of them. And so I brought up a lot of those songs, only to realize that some of them songs ain't beaten up here like that, you know? Wow. So, but, I mean, I still had a good, like, amount of, like, things to fill in the gaps. So, so that's actually how I got my first.
So Trends was the first one. Leon was the first one.
Well, the funny thing was, Leon was the first one to, like, I guess, discover me.
Right.
But you remember Corey?
Yes.
Mosaic.
Mosaic, yeah.
Right. So he ended up like hearing about me around the same time, and the funny thing was, he had an event that was coming up before. Trends event, right? So he said, "Yo, come play music for me." So that was his party. Was actually the first one I played at.
Gotcha.
But
they hang out with each other, those Trends and Corey.
Yeah, so it was like I guess if you want to say the uptown scene, you know.
Correct.
And back then I never used to talk, you know.
You just played.
Yeah, I just play music because I like being from Trinidad at that time. Like, if you talk too much in a party, people gonna say, "Hey, you're talking too much. Why play some music?" You understand? Or they'll actually throw stuff at you, you know.
Wow.
So it was like in Trinidad, it was a big thing. Like you had to know how to mix music.
Right.
It's not like now where you could get away with the talking and stuff like that. So even if I don't know if you ever listen to Trinidad radio or something, you hear the caliber of DJs. Everybody could mix.
Yes.
Everybody could play different varieties in and out, come back, and that's actually what I brought. You know, so I was going in and out of all the genres. I wasn't saying a word all night, and everything was coming in smooth. Like, up to now, I still see some people that know me from back then be like, "Yo, Shane, you're one of the few, man. I see bossa dance and don't say a word."
Don't say a word. Wow.
You know? And then yes, and then, you know, Trends came up the same time, so they was doing every party they was on, I was basically on, and so I kind of came up with them, and that's how I got, you know, out there. And then within like a year or so, I was basically playing for almost every promoter in Atlanta at that point, from uptown to downtown. And the funny thing was, you know, the Jamaican scene that really bust me. Yeah. You know, I mean, at that time, the soca scene was here, but it wasn't as big. Even soca music wasn't even.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, back in the day, you go like the Garrison party, you can't even touch no soca. They don't want to hear that. But now you have to play soca segment.
Have to.
You know.
Yeah, I remember coming in 03, and John Wayne and I had a record store.
Yeah.
In Marietta, and I remembered you were switching to CD at that point.
Yeah, I was one of the first.
Right, and we got our first set of CD books from you.
Yeah,
John Wayne.
John Wayne was the first man to come check me, because I actually, like, even back in Trinidad, like in the late 90s, actually one of my friends had bought a CD duplicator, the double deck, like how the cassette used to be, but with CD. And you remember the mini disc?
Yes.
I love that thing. I don't even know what happened to that.
I don't know what happened to mine either.
I mean, I still have my player, I still have the disc and everything, but I don't know why
I don't even have the player anymore.
It didn't even catch on that bit, because to me it was wicked. You gotta.
It was
basically like a digital cassette.
It was.
You know,
But
like
it never
I
caught
voiced a
on.
lot of dubs on that.
It never caught on though.
I don't know. I remember Sony was trying to push it. They even put it
Yeah.
in some cars. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. You could record your own stuff on it, come out
Yep.
like CD
Yep.
quality. So what I used to do was I used to like take. I was still in Trinidad. I used to take like the 45s and stuff like that and record them onto mini discs.
Oh.
Right. So I already had like a lot of stuff already
Gotcha.
digitalized, put
Gotcha.
down, and then when the CD became popular, they had a cord, like a digital little black skinny cord.
Yes.
They used to hook on from the mini disc
Yes.
to the CD player. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
remember that.
And it would just copy exactly.
I remember that.
So I used to just let it run. It would copy
Oh.
onto the CD. So by the time John Wayne had come check me, I already had a good amount
Yeah.
put on CD.
It was a huge book.
Yeah, so and you
I
realize he
couldn't
came back
believe
with
it.
that shit quick, right?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, because I already had most of
Yeah.
it put down. Like I was even this was like even like around 2003, like around that time, I still used to work with records because those times I was like the house DJ at Peacock when Crushmore had it, you know, and I got a shout out Crushmore too because he was one of the other promoters that used to book me a lot and stuff like that. But I was a house DJ there at Peacock for a while. I used to actually show up with like maybe 2 crates at that time. Everybody showing up with their full. I used to show up with 2 crates and the little
pouch.
Newmark.
Oh,
Remember the
okay.
little Newmark
Yes.
one that had the little
Yes,
mixer
the
built
little-
in?
the little knob thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Whoa.
I used to show up with that and plug it in because I had like a little CD collection going, and you know them times there
Wow.
I was playing my remember them times that remixes was popular,
Yes.
like the reggae
Yes,
on the
yes.
hip hop beats and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Renaissance made that popular.
Yeah, Renaissance made that popular and stuff like that. So I was like coming in, I was doing my own little remixes where like put like the instrumental on one side, the acapella, because you know like sometimes the 45 on the flip side had the acapella. I'll make my own little remixes and then I'll burn them onto the CD and then I'll come. That's really how it started. I used to just walk with the CDs to play like the dubs
Gotcha.
and the remixes and stuff like
Gotcha.
that.
Wow.
And as time got along, like I just stopped working with records completely when people were still coming in. So John Wayne is like, "Yo, Shane, yeah, we need."
I remember that time, man. When
Yeah.
he came up with the book, it was like this thick. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, and I could probably say like a lot of songman in Atlanta got digital files from what
you.
I burned up because I know John Wayne gave a
I know
whole
I
heap of
did.
money.
I know I did. Because
Yeah.
John Wayne gave me the identical book to what
but,
you had.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people had it because when everybody finally converted to CDs,
Right.
like the order and some of the CDs are like that's my same exact thing. you know?
Yeah.
So and then even now, like some of the files, like that I made, like
They're
you know
still- they're
that show up
yeah.
on the computer.
Yeah.
I know I named
Yeah.
them those things.
Yeah.
And stuff
Wow.
like that.
Wow.
So it was
So how did you get into the? I mean, I remember, meeting you and your name was being called everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Shane Talon, Black Talon, whatever.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And then you got into clashing a little bit.
Yeah, well-
how did you get into that?
Well, I mean, I was always I loved the whole culture clash thing, and back in the day, I was a little arrogant, like I had a little, especially like them times I was like the only Trini in the
Right.
Jamaican scene, right?
True.
And I used to get like a I won't say fight, but I had to earn my spot.
Gotcha.
Because
Gotcha.
it was mainly Jamaicans, and then I had to change my style too because like depending on where you play, like the Jamaican style was different from the Trinidad style.
True.
We just mix music.
True.
But the Jamaican they like the speeches and
Yeah.
so actually I had to learn to like make a couple speeches and build up the confidence to like make a speech with the tunes and but I always like that playing the dub plate and hitting the forward and just setting some chat to some and that's actually a big part of like I actually miss the vinyl because of that.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
you go to the record store and you get They maybe had 3 copies and you get one.
Yep.
And you could confidently come in and dance.
I have
Me
the only
alone,
one. Exactly.
Me alone play this tonight.
Can't do that anymore,
Yeah.
but we used to be able to do that.
And then even if it's like a song, another thing I miss about dancehall and the whole scene was, like, even if it was a song that was brand new, that you never heard before, like, you'd be like, this is a brand new Bounty Killer, listen. And if it was a wicked track, man, still giving you forward and you get to wheel it up and things like that. Now, you play a song that they don't know,
they stand up on you. Yeah.
What is? And then 6 months down the line, then is a big tune. Or, it used to piss me off too. Like, not only me, but, a lot of the local songs, we might try to bust a tune, and the crowd is like, all right, whatever. And then Stone Love might come in and be like, yo, this is the biggest song in Jamaica right now. And we've been playing this for months. And as soon as they put it on, man, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
It pisses us off too. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Biased people.
But I'd link up with some of the guys in New York, and they already had the Black Talents thing going. So I was like, might as well just join up.
Gotcha.
And they were already cutting. I had voiced some songs, from Trinidad and stuff like that. But they were cutting heavy.
Right.
Because they was cutting since like the mid 90s and stuff like that. So, so we had kind of link up and stuff like that.
But I've never seen them here though.
Yeah, they that's the thing. Like even people had know about them that it was a crew, right? But everybody used to be like, "Yo, I want Shane." I want Shane.
Gotcha.
But like if we had like a big, like the couple clashes and stuff like that we did, they would come down and like MC and stuff like that. But other than that, it was basically just me down there for most of the time. They was doing their thing up in New York and thing like that. So by the time like 2003, 4, 5, 6, we was voicing everything on them.
Yeah, and you made a name literally for yourself, where
like
we knew you as Black Talon.
Yeah, so
no offense to the guys up there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, like everybody used to be like Talon. Yeah. That's why I still have the Talon up to now. People used to just call me Talon. Hey, Talon, and stuff like that.
Wow.
But like we had everything,
everything on them.
Yeah, every single thing.
What happened to the clash with you and Negus?
Well,
because everybody, we still didn't get an explanation on that. Really?
Well, this is as far as I know, but even before that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, they had a clash years before that. It was actually my first clash in Atlanta. It was me, King AP, Cartel.
Yes.
And Negus, right? So Texture.
Yes.
Right? There was 4 of us.
Yes.
It was a 45 shootout,
yes.
right? But they had a round where like you play dubs and stuff
right.
like that. So the funniest thing is we didn't realize till like later on in the clash, but Negus, we all had our different consoles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somehow everything was passed into Negus console.
Oh.
Right, so he had the master volume.
Right.
So like he could, if he turned down his stuff, everything
shuts off.
Yeah. So it reached down to the 3rd round or something like that, and I had already I had won 2 rounds, and I think AP won 1, right? And then they was trying to vote to see who went into tune for tune, right? I think Carter was already out. And the crowd voted for me and AP to go in for tune, and Negus got mad.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if he gonna remember this, but
so no, he got a good memory. He'll remember.
Yeah, but he shut up the song, so we can play no music.
So you didn't get to do the one to
yeah,
one?
no, we was trying to do the 1-for-1, and nothing was coming out. He was like, Negus, yo, so.
Wow.
The crowd started booing and all that because, they want the clash to go on. And Negus, all of a sudden I heard, yo, the people said, Texture and Black Talon in a 1-for-1. And then he ended up playing a tune. I think it was a Jackie or something he played. Like, he tried to put himself in a 1-for-1, right, between me and him.
Right.
And he played a song, and then he said, all right, Shane, your tune now. and the crowd was like, boo, boo, boo. And everybody's like, AP and Talon and 1 for 1 and 1. And when he realized the crowd wasn't having it, he just locked the song off completely. And that was the end of the clash.
Wow.
And then
I never heard that story.
Yeah.
Wow.
People around knew that. So, but at that point, I'd won most of the round.
Right.
So they ended up giving me the win. But
wow.
and you know the funny thing is, right, by the time all this hype build up with me and Negus to do the clash with us, right? Like me and Negus never had no beef.
People was thinking you did.
Yeah.
People was seriously thinking you did.
Yeah, because hey, what happened? Like we would you remember I was heavy in the Jamaican circuit.
Correct.
You know, so all them guys was my friends.
Right.
At a certain point, like me and Negus was good, and then Danger Marcus came on the scene and all these guys. And up to now, me and them still good. But like songman thing is always a little competitive, right? Yeah. So even we in the same dance, we trying to outdo each other.
Of course.
So like even if Negus was throwing word for me and I was throwing back word for him, and I remember back then Texture was voicing some tune too.
Hard.
Yeah. So he would come and so people from the dance, people thought that we had a beef because we might throw word and play tune.
Yeah.
And then I think like one time we was talking, I was like, yo, Negus, we could run with this, because the original plan was it built up to a certain amount of hype, right?
Yeah.
That we said, we don't need no promoter. If we do it ourselves and just put out your Texture versus Black Talon, people gonna show up, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. That was like the most packed local clash ever.
So Trini wasn't the...
Yeah, so what happened was Trini ended up so me and Negus I guess time went on and we didn't end up like, we had the plan to do it ourselves, but it never happened. And then Trini
stepped in.
Yeah, he stepped to us, not at the same time, but like separately.
Okay.
And then he called a figure. He called a number, and I was like, I'm telling myself, oh yeah, that's what you want to pay? Yeah.
Obviously it's a big number.
Yeah, so I was like, so I ended up calling the guys in New York. I was like, yo, this guy want to do the clash with us and Texture. And he paid this amount, and they was like, oh yeah? So, but
wow.
So as far as I know, right, and he ended up like the day we agreed, like the next day we got like the deposit, everything. And as far as I know, whatever I got was the same treatment Negus got.
Really?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Right.
He'll probably say different because I think the word when he didn't show up or whatever, I think what he said, like he didn't get paid or something.
I think he said he didn't get paid or he got paid the day before. I don't remember the real story.
As far as I know, the same time that we got paid or whatever, he got paid. And
but you showed up.
Yeah, we showed up. We showed up because it ended up it was 2 clashes that night, because I think no, that was a different night.
That was a different night.
Yeah, that was a different night.
You showed up, and I don't think Texture showed up.
Right. So we showed up, and then time just going on, and Negus was like, where Negus at?
Yeah.
So we was never there. So we end up just saying, to hell with it. We just end up playing some tunes.
Yeah.
And thing like that. And then I heard he was in the building at one point.
I don't remember. I was there. I don't remember if he was there.
Yeah.
But and there was never a call to redo the clash.
I mean,
at that point the hype had died.
Yeah, and then I was like, because remember that times Rico, like I book out like every weekend, like sometimes 2-3 dance in one night.
Yeah.
So even to get a date to do that was hard for me.
Yeah.
And I just like, I ain't even wasting my time on this. But even I think the when me and Niga spoke after that, I think we was just laughing about it because we never really had no beef. I was like, Niga, so what happened? I never really got no like real story from him. Like, as far as I know, he's like, yo, say me never get paid, but I don't know.
Wow.
You gotta try to get that out of him.
Yeah, I mean he's
come
due
to here.
He's due to come on the show. So I'm gonna find out when he does come on the show.
And when you find out the real story, I guess
because I want to know. I want to know.
Yeah, I still didn't even get no.
Wow.
And them times too. Like I said, I was booked out a lot, so I was even studying.
Yeah.
Like the clashing was cool, and if it came up, then fine. But that wasn't really my forefront to be like, oh, push a clash song. People just know it was loaded and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite dub?
No. Like, well, like, here what the thing is, like Sizzler is my artist.
Right. I know that.
I've always been. Well, actually, before Sizzler was, because Sizzler bus, like in Trinidad he had bus early, like 95, 96. Like he had his tunes, and then by 96 when Crazy Jah and all those tunes came out, he bus in Trinidad.
Right.
But like even like a little before that, like Anthony B was.
Yeah.
That first album he had.
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite albums of all time. Like that, I still beat that album up to now.
Yeah.
And but when Sizzler came out, like you couldn't deny the Sizzler, the quality and the tunes and the lyrics.
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember or if you were aware, but at the time when Sizzler was Sizzler, like 97, 98, when he was just hitting, the crime rate in Jamaica actually dropped.
Really?
Yeah,
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Even it made news in Trinidad. Like you remember that time, like conscious music on the whole was big.
Yes.
The late 90s. So
yes, Lucy,
Sizzler,
like Anthony B.
Yeah. They had so many. Buju, remember Buju Ten Rasta and all.
Yeah.
So like the I guess.
Wow.
I guess a lot of people was into. I mean, but if you check it out, Rico, right? Music is so powerful that people actually, when they listen to music, they actually believe that they they could do certain things or they feel certain way.
Yeah.
It's just like they say, like if Gunman song running in the place, everybody thinks there's a bad man now, So at that time, the conscious music was big, and I remember reading in the papers that they said like the crime rate actually dropped, not only in Jamaica but all around the Caribbean, like Trinidad and stuff like that. It was a big thing. So I would say we have a Sizzler Show Us the Way. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite dubs that we have. But man, we have so much Sizzler, I can't even remember.
You got so much tunes. Period.
Yeah, but Sizzler probably got out of any artist. Maybe that's most we have. We have a lot of Bounty and stuff too. But yeah, Sizzler and but up to now, them guys still voicing tunes.
Right?
Yeah, cause Jam Jam, right?
Yes.
He used to play Addies,
Yes.
and then back in the day he was Jam Jam down the place. Yeah. So he been with Black Talons like nearly 10 years now.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he does most of the voicing now. It's just like I like.
Do you still crave dubs?
Nah, I mean, I wouldn't say to here what the thing is, like I still love the art form, and like I still I would still voice, like if we have so many tunes that I would voice something if I came up on something special.
Gotcha.
Like the other day I actually got the opportunity to voice Bunch Americans.
Really?
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Are they back together?
Nah, and they're not as far as I know.
Okay.
But I think they're cool enough where like if both of them agree to do it, they do it separately. And I remember like growing up in Trinidad when Bunch Americans came out in like 93, 94.
They were huge.
They were huge.
Huge.
And that's when I now started to pay attention to like dancehall and stuff.
Edley Shine and
Notch, right?
Notch, yeah.
And I remember like there was one like the first people like I have memories of, like when Boom Shack Attack came out. That was a huge song. I just have so many memories because them times I still in school. You go in school dance,
Yeah.
trying to find a girl to go on the wall with and
Yep,
you know
yep.
bubble and
Yep.
so those tunes have a lot of memories and I remember by the time you know I was in the Soundman thing and this 2000 it was already like broken up and,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you couldn't really get them unless
Yep.
but I end up posting I know you see me post my vinyls a lot, you know. Like I always been well, I grew up in the time of physical music,
Right.
you know, physical format,
Right.
the cassette, you know, and then obviously the vinyl. Like if you were a DJ, you had to have. But I was collecting them since I was a boy. Like as far as I remember, 7, 8 years old. My mom used to take me to the store. My uncle used to work in one of the stores. She used to take me. I used to buy 45s. Excuse me. And then she said, a lot of times that's what would keep me quiet. Like I would just sit down and watch I would just put on the record on the turntable. I didn't even have to have the needle on and just watch it spin. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was fascinated with, ever since I was small with the turntable, how it spins,
Right.
and then when you put on the record, everything about and then as I got older, I started to appreciate it more. You know, everything about the LP I loved from the, you know, it was like the biggest format. So you have the nice big picture case. You have, you know, just the feeling of like bursting the wrap on it, the smell comes out when you take it out, you put it on, and then
Wow.
you know the analog song from it,
Yes.
especially the bass lines.
Yes, the bass line is different. There's nothing like it.
Yeah,
Nothing like it.
Yeah, the CD can't compare because you know it's compact and stuff like that. So I was just always fascinated with vinyl, even when well, obviously when I was started DJ, I needed it, but even after, I never stopped buying the format. Like even when it went out of style, I was still buying.
But it's
stuff.
coming back in style now.
It's the number one format now.
Yeah.
Since 2020,
Yeah.
they've sold like over 1 billion.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they've sold over 1 billion vinyls.
Whoa.
You realize you go Target, Walmart, and these places now, they have they have the vinyl section, and vinyl's more than CDs now. You remember it used to be the opposite.
It used to be the opposite, yes.
So like every major artist
Wow.
will put their album on
Back
vinyl.
on vinyl
now.
now.
Yeah, I think Adele, because there's not much pressing plants anymore. I think
Yeah.
there's the two major ones. I think one is in Germany and one is in Japan. So like when like say Adele is coming out with an album, she might say, okay, I want to press 100,000 copies. So she had the plants locked down for like 6 months.
Jesus.
You know, so but everybody puts their album out on vinyl now and then.
Wow.
Like, even some of the ones I have, like the original presses back in the day, some of them worth a lot now.
Yeah. I would imagine.
Yeah.
I see when you put up the videos, I see a whole shelf.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And that's just the ones I decided to keep. Because, you know, like, you know, when you're buying records, especially when you're a DJ,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the tunes might be hot then and there.
Yeah.
So they have boxes I still have in storage. I remember some I even gave away and threw and stuff like that. That was just the ones
Jeez.
yeah, I have like probably in thousands.
Wow. So
Some of them worth a lot.
you're a father now.
Yeah.
Did fatherhood change you in terms of the music, in terms of the
It
soul?
changed me so much.
Really?
Like even before well, I'll say it like this. I mean, you being a sound man, right? I don't know if that's at one point that was your only profession. Was it?
No, it was never my only profession.
Okay.
No.
Well, like when I came here and I was going to school and stuff like that, like I said, I was I mean, the only you know when you come here as a student, you can't really earn much money. You know?
Right.
Either you get a job on campus or
Correct.
whatever. But you know the music, being a DJ actually got me through a lot of tough times.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, at first I didn't I wasn't making much money. Then I ran out of money. I couldn't finish school and stuff like that. And to be honest, for a little while I was out of status, you know, so couldn't really get a legit job and stuff like that. So, but by that time I was booked out.
Booked out, yeah.
You know, so the the music, like me being a DJ and stuff like that, helped me out a lot back in the day. But when you really think about it, it's not a stable career.
No.
You know, like it has a timeline. Like anything in the entertainment business has a timeline, and the timeline sometimes doesn't even go along with your age.
True.
Like people class me as an OG in Atlanta or like a
because you've been doing this for so long.
It's just because I've been doing it so long, right?
But you started young.
Yeah, I started real young. I was when I started, and you always see me playing and stuff. I was underage. I wasn't even 21.
Oh snap!
Yeah. So when you compared me to like John Wayne and them man there who the vets, right? Yeah. Them man got a good nearly 10 years on me. Wow. You know. So, I mean, I a little up there now, but what I'm saying back then, I was young, and I bust out the gate early. So when I was like, you know, like basically, I was on the 21 when I was still doing a lot of these gigs and stuff like that. But and then so it's very unstable. Like none of my kids, I will be like, yo, I want you to
get into
do
this. Right.
If I had a choice, I just didn't have a choice. You know, like I moved to this country by myself. I left all my family behind. You know, it was hard. Like, you know, I would admit, I had some rough years, like where, like in between, like, cause you know when you up, and when you down, you're down. You're down. You know, so like I had some years where like I felt like things was, and sometimes it's not even you. It's just that's how the business go. Yeah. You know, like you in this profession for 10 years, the crowd that used to follow you got older. Mm-hmm. They had their kids. They don't come out as much. Mm-hmm. New DJs come on the scene. Yep. You know, so that crowd follows them now. You become like less relevant. You know, so you know they had a turning point where like I was like, man, and I've been doing it for so long, like. I didn't really have nothing to fall back on. You know, like I just kept on going with the music and writing it out. I mean, in 2008, 9 around there, I actually went back to get a degree in sound engineering. You know, at SAE in the city. So you know, and I started to do like a little studio work. Like up to now, I still do like people. Like will send me their tracks to mix and master and stuff like that. But they had a point at the time where, man, it was rough. Like like
rough. You want to go back home rough? Or?
Yeah, like, I mean, I always want like for the first couple of years, I always wanted to go back home. You know, it was just a whole different culture, the weather, you know, everything. Like, no family, no immediate family. That could be hard, you know. But you know, I had like a couple of relationships, and I made like some friends, and you know that turned into family and stuff like that. And you know, like a lot of times, like you know, stuff always come back to you, you know, especially when you know, like people would say like, yo, Shane, you know, I don't know, like he kind of like an asshole, or you know, I don't really get no vibes from him, but like when like in the early days, I was a militant guy, you know. I wasn't into the, I don't know, like the smile up. That's just my personality. Yeah. You know, unless you know me for a while and you catch me like at my house or something like that, and you see me joking around with you, like you know, then you see like my personality come up.
It's funny because I never saw. I met you obviously at Blazing.
Yeah, Blazing.
You know, and then you came on my station.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that side of you, that militant side.
Yeah, but that was before you met me. Like
okay.
Like this was like, cause the whole like with the whole conscious vibes, like I was into the Rasta thing for a little bit. Even when I'd come here, I had locks and everything.
Because you always said dreadlocks.
Yeah. So like people are like if you ask Jinx and some of those guys who know me from like when I came here, They see me with the little locks. I was hard because you see my hair.
Yeah.
It's straight. So I had to like braid it, put rubber bands at the end.
Wow.
And then it eventually catch, but then the roots won't catch. So then I had to put the beeswax, and that shit burn as hell.
I can't imagine you with locks.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. I still have someone somewhere at home that I saved, but I was a militant guy, like no smile up and thing like that. But as the time went by and stuff like that, and one day I ended up just shaving it off and stuff like that. Then I started to be a little more like friendly, but my real persona, like I'm a home guy. I've always liked to be home.
I mean, I see that now with how you are with your
that's
kids.
That's how I always was. I was only doing road because I had to.
Gotcha.
I was a DJ. I had to go there and make money. That was the only thing I was doing. So that's how I was surviving.
Right.
And I love playing music.
Right.
But if you give me the choice to stay home and just relax, I would do that. So people would say like, oh, I only see Shane when he DJing or something like that. It was nothing personal. I just like to be home.
Yeah.
And I could kind of see why that like had a little strain in the long run, because as you become less relevant, you start you the friendships that you made like over the years while you were out there come in handy.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times now, like certain people might link me or check for me now because they'll be like, well, she never showed me no support and this and that, but it's not like I was saying, yo, I don't like this person and I'm gonna support them. I like to be home.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big thing, but there had a point in time where like I was like at a crossroads, where like I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in and stuff like that. And then then my big daughter was born. She's 4 now, and she actually, her being born actually brought me back from like a rough patch.
Really?
Yeah, like people talk about. I mean, you see these entertainers, like sometimes they just like they might just fall off, or like Robin Williams, for example. You remember he committed suicide or whatever. But you watch his movies or you study him, he
looks very jovial. Yeah. Very happy.
You would never think a person like that would have these. But you see that with a lot of entertainers.
Correct.
Because, they say, it's a lonely life at the end of the day. So you don't know what these people are. I'm not saying like I was at that point.
Right.
But I was like at a point where like, I was like down on myself. And maybe, if you want to say depressed, but my daughter, when she was born, like that kind of gave me a new life. And I mean, you're a father, so
yes, of course.
Of course, like there's no love or feeling that even compares to like feeling that you have for your own child,
Yeah.
So like she.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the relationship you have with both of your daughters.
Yeah, and then now my new baby, like now I'm just overwhelmed now. Like it's just so, and like I said, that's a big reason why like I decided to like only do certain gigs now. I want to be there on the I didn't have normal weekends for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I was on the road and other stuff, and
wow.
and I have girls.
Yes.
So it's a little different. The daddy daughter bond is very, especially in the society we live in, right?
Yes.
So you gotta make sure, and they say the father is their first love, and they imitate that when they
look for that in another man. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like you say, you see it on my social media, and like years and years now, and like like when I now started, when Instagram and all these things came out, you'll post stuff like, maybe like like for likes or whatever, like, but ever since my children was born, like my social media is for them. My kid's still young. God forbid anything happened to me. Like my big daughter would barely remember me, and the baby, she won't remember me at all. But like at some point in time, like my social media always there. They could always go through and be like, well, daddy did this with us on this day, and so that's why like,
gotcha.
Like like people might say, well, maybe you post your kids too often, or you do this and do that, but it's really a timeline for them. That's why I posted, so they could go through, be like, on this date, or look what daddy did with us on this date, stuff like that.
Wow, that's incredible.
And then obviously, well, like my vinyls and stuff like that, I always like to do that. So like,
wow. And then you're an Arsenal fan.
Oh well. Oh God. Wait, Rico. You know what football? You know about soccer?
I'm from Nevis, bro.
Oh yeah.
we have soccer and cricket in Nevis.
Yeah. Who's your team?
I don't particularly have a team.
Yeah.
I don't particularly have a team.
Yeah.
But I'm not that much into it.
Yeah.
But I know about it.
Well, I'm a big fan of soccer. Obviously, that's basically the only sport I really like follow. Okay. I mean, I'll catch a basketball game if it's on, right, but I don't really follow it like that. And football, all these years living in this country, American football, I never gotten into.
Gotcha.
And it comes hand in hand with soccer, because soccer is 45 minutes straight, one half, no stops. I think why I never got into American football is like they make a play, they stop, and be like, commercial, you gotta wait for shit, Yeah. And I guess it's the same way with soccer. People think it's boring because they're just kicking around the ball, but you don't understand. But so I actually watch all the leagues, right?
Okay.
So I mean, the Premier League, which is the English league, is obviously the most popular, especially within the English-speaking islands,
the UK, right? Mm-hmm.
And then, because if you ask Spanish-speaking person, they'll say La Liga, and stuff like that, and the French and stuff like that. So I actually have a team that I support in every league.
Okay.
But when I was a boy, my earliest memory of football or soccer is watching Diego Maradona play, right? And he was an Argentina. Obviously, he's from Argentina. So Argentina has always been my team since I was small. Where most people from the Caribbean, they Brazil fans, right?
Because of Pele
and all that. Right. And I respect Brazil, obviously, but Maradona that stood out to me. And my mom was a huge Maradona fan too, so we always used to watch him play. So I always been Argentina from small, and then when Messi started to make his rise in the early 2000s, and then he joined Barcelona. I don't know if you know, but he joined Barcelona when he was like 13, 14 years old, and they kind of grew him because he had like little. I think he had like a growth problem or something like that. So Barca had spent a lot of money on. So from then, Barca was actually my team, and still is.
Okay.
But like I said, like I have teams in every league. So Arsenal is my team in the Premier League, but it hasn't always been. If you talk to any Caribbean person, probably growing up, all we used to see was Manchester United.
Manchester United. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
I think Delhi Ranks. He roots for Manchester United.
Yeah, so like most island people, you would see they Man U fans up to now.
Yeah.
And that was my team.
Gotcha.
Because the local channels, they would show. At point in time, I thought it was only Manchester United in the league with like 3 other teams.
Wow.
Because that's only games they used to show. And then I don't know if you remember, Dwight York, you know that name? So you remember he came from he joined as Manchester United in like 98, 99. And then he broke he was a top scorer in the league. And that year they had the three-peat, the only English team that ever did it. They won the FA Cup, the Premier League, and Champions League.
Whoa.
Yeah, Dwight York and Cole. It was a serious combination. So like, you know, back then, like most Trinidadians or even Caribbean people were big Manchester United fans. But then later on, that's when I became a Arsenal fan, like when and stuff like that. But
I mean, I see you have all the gear, and everything.
Well, hey, what Arsenal, like early 2000s, they had a nice run, you know, like when Henry and stuff was playing, but they've been in a slump for a while,
for a minute,
you know, so you know, like people will always tease Arsenal, yo, your team not doing nothing, you're not even in Champions League and them things there, but as soon as we get a little light, all the Arsenal fans come out now, and they're doing good this season. So you're seeing all the Arsenal fans coming out the woodworks wearing the jersey, yo, number one, and stuff like that. But we see the season's still kind of like halfway through.
Yeah.
So
you'll see where you end up.
See how it goes. Yeah.
What's next for Shane Talon, though?
I don't know.
Production, you know.
Look, here's the thing. Like when I got my degree in production and stuff like that, I have over 100 beats on my laptop that I made.
Really?
Yeah, I was at a point in time I was just up all hours of night, from morning to night, just making beats and stuff like that. And then they had a point in time where, I mean, you could have all the beats you want. You don't have the proper networks to. It's just gonna sit down.
Or even the artists to put on those
right.
beats. Yeah.
So it's either, I mean, you know the business run. Either you have a relationship with the artist, and then he gotta respect you enough to. All right, well, we'll just make a deal where, like, you know, give me half of the track. But if you don't have the artist, those links, you gotta pay them outright. Pay them, you know,
and they're not cheap.
Yeah, they're not cheap. It's a song you're talking about. It's not a dub plate, you know. So sometimes they'll be like, yo, $5,000 for a feature, you know, or something like that. You know, I ain't really got that kind of money. So, I mean, I voiced a couple tunes, like couple songs, but I never really. And then even if you voice songs, is like the format to put it out. You know, you gotta put it out the right way. You know, like that's
the right marketing, the right everything.
That's basically what record labels were for back in the day, the distribution. Yeah. You know, now you don't really need it because you know, it's social media and all that. But you know, unless you had somebody to push your music, then. So at a point in time, like I was linking this one, that one. I was, and nothing never solid came through unless I had like the upfront money to pay it. So the production, I kind of lost like hope in it. Maybe one day I'll pick it back up, but like I don't even have the time right now. You know, my children take up all my time and stuff like that. So I won't say that's the feel. I guess I just taking it one day at a time. Like right now, I just enjoy being a father. You know, having you know, normal weekends, and then I like a old man. I go in my little my little corner, put on a record. Drink my tea.
Drink your tea. Wow.
You know,
but as long as you're happy, though, you're happy, and you seems happy.
Yeah, of course. Like I say, nothing brings joy more than family and stuff like that. And you know, the thing with the music is like if you know me, I always been a reggae guy.
Yeah, I know that.
You know, reggae was always my first love, not to be confused with dancehall. You know? Right. I mean, the dancehall, I love it and stuff like that. Especially, I mean, it's nothing like dancehall in a party. You know, you hear the big song string up. But I always been a reggae guy. Like people always say, like over the years, be like, Shane, what happened to the soca and this and that? How come you don't? You know, like how come you was never like a soca DJ like most Trinidadian DJs? But I mean, I love soca. That's my culture. I grew up on it and stuff like that. But I was like from being a conscious youth, from an early age, I always gravitated to the reggae, and not even so much the lovers rock, the culture, you know?
Conscious,
and then the Rastaman tunes, and that's always been my thing from I was a teenager. So even when I came here and I was playing music and I was deep into the, like, you know, like I said, the Jamaican scene busted me, and I was happy with that. Because I love the reggae. I love the dancehall. I've always been that guy. You know, the soca came later on when obviously the soca got more popular, and then I could always play it. But I was never a big, you know, like, I much rather a party where I could go and play like a little bit of everything. I was never like, oh yeah, I want to be a soca DJ or stuff like that. But if I had to choose a genre to play all night, it would always be reggae. It would always be reggae. You know, people will always say, "But Shane, you know, you're this in your culture, and you never want to come play for us and stuff like that." But to be honest, at the time when the soca was coming up, like in the later 2000s, early thing, and they started to call me like my name. I was already, like you say, you used to see me on all the flyers.
Yeah. Yes.
To even get a date from me was hard.
Yeah.
And then not to you approaching me with this with small money, to be honest. You be like, all right, come and play for $2, and I'd be like, you know how much I getting paid right now? So it was not it was not like you know, a diss or anything. But one, I didn't have the dates. It wasn't really a passion of mine. But it's only when like other DJs start to do like soca parties, then that's how I even got on a lot of those soca events and stuff like that. I could always play the genre,
right?
But it was never really, you know,
wasn't your passion.
My thing. So even now, like you see, like if you see me at home playing music, more than likely it's a reggae album, you know, playing and stuff like that. But
your social media, where can folks follow you?
Well, you know, everything is Shane Talon. There's only one in the world.
You're right.
Yeah, you look up Shane Talon. There's nothing else.
Wow.
So I was lucky to have that. Yeah. So like if you Google Shane Talon, like everything that has Shane Talon, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, everything that, even MySpace, everything that I ever put Shane Talon on, that's the only thing you're gonna see.
MySpace, High Five, and all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's no other one in the world. So you could just Google Shane Talon, or if you're not sure, like you're on a social media format, it's always Shane Talon.
Wow.
Like,
well, you know what, man? I've seen your growth.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it from the Expos days.
Yeah.
To
Well,
the 426 days.
You know, some of those times, I look back and be like, damn, yeah, I used to really carry on like that.
Yeah.
You know,
426 days, but Peacock.
Yeah, but I guess like, you know, like sometimes, you know, like even up to now, like me and other songman in Atlanta, it's always been like even though we like, you know, like some of us are friends, but there's always been a respect.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they'll say like, you know, like if it's one thing they can't say about me, it's like I didn't earn my place.
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
like I was the first one to play African music in Caribbean events. I was the first Caribbean DJ to even infiltrate the African scene.
Yes.
Yeah, way back.
Yes.
You know, so and I think a major part of that, like the music has always sounded like, you know, it's similar to soca. I don't know if you remember back in the day, the African music used to be faster, 120, 120.
Yes.
So I used to mix it with the soca a lot, and people used to be like, "Yo, what's that Shane playing? It sounds like soca, but it's not." You know, so you know, like I've like stamped my name in certain things when it comes to, you know, Atlanta and you know, and you know, you find over the years like people like, especially like you might be relevant as now, and people seem to have like short memories, you know, but
they have microwave memories.
Yeah. But you know, like the good thing is like they'll always have, even if it's just one person that experience certain things at the same time as you, they'll always have that one person be like, nah, you can't say this without saying Shane Talon or Black Talon, or you can't.
Facts.
You can't.
Facts.
You know. But
Facts.
I've been blessed. I don't regret anything. I play music. You know, like I would say music chose me. You know, and.
Well, I got the opportunity to hear you at the Island Vibes event.
Yeah, you know,
and I was like, wow.
And you still book me. I still come through and do a little shellings, you know.
I mean, I totally enjoyed.
Yeah,
because it was from one genre to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next.
Yeah, that's my style. You know? I can mix different genres and don't skip a beat. And then, you know, obviously, like the old school, especially if you grew up in a genre. It's like I tell you hear newer DJs play old school now. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
And it's no disrespect.
Because they wasn't around when they were playing it.
Yeah, so it's just like now, if like me not being as active as a DJ anymore, like for me to come in and play the new dancehall,
you're not going to be.
I'm not going to play the same as somebody who, you know.
Facts.
So it worked the same way, and then you know now it's like everybody's sharing the same file. So I'm gonna send you a folder and you just play the chord to BPM. So you know stuff like that, but. You know how it goes sometimes.
Yep. Folks, my special guest today, Shane Talon of Black Talon. Been around for 20 plus years. We still don't know his age, but he's been around for 20 plus years.
I mean, some people are like, so if he came in, you know, a little up there, but I ain't in the dinosaur.
The dinosaur.
Although I've been classing that just because how long I've been doing it.
Right.
You know, when I started, I was really young. So.
But before you go, who do you listen to now? Like the DJs in Atlanta. Like I don't want to put you on the spot. The new.
Well, the DJs that's out there like doing their thing, you know, like Black Platinum and them, they solid guys.
Yeah.
They wicked.
Yeah,
they wicked. Like between the like the. You know, when you have a DJ and an MC that's in sync, there's nothing like it. You know, so those guys in sync. So I rate them. You know, and then who else is out there? Well, you know, Unique and them doing the thing. But you know, the funny thing is a little different from when we was coming up. Like you had to start. You had to start at the early warm. You was a new DJ. If you get a bookings, you had to do the early warm. There's no and off, if or maybe, right? And then, all right, well, you graduate now, and then you get the little middle of the party.
Right.
And then eventually...
Still wouldn't get the closing yet, but yeah.
And then eventually you get the prime time.
Right.
And stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of these new DJs now, yo, man, I don't know early warm, man. And I could kind of see where that's coming from because... Back in the day, you had to, you know, there was no social media like that, so you actually had to prove yourself.
Correct.
You know, and a promoter give you a chance because it don't matter if they like you or not personally.
True.
But they say, yo, I book in Rico because I know Rico could play music good.
Correct.
And the crowd gonna follow Rico.
Correct.
Because they like how he play music. I don't really care for him outside of that.
Right.
But you know, I'm booking him because the crowd enjoy themselves when he plays.
Right.
So now it's kind of the opposite, whereas the popularity has taken over. I mean, you still have to have some sort of talent, right? But the popularity has taken over from a promoter who say, yo,
he has a following.
This DJ have over 10,000 followers. Yep. I'm just going to book him because he going to post my flyer and his followers going to just come on. Now, you got to have some sort of... No, you can't be like a rubbish DJ. You know, like people still be like, well, but it is more like a social thing. But they have a lot of talented young DJs.
They are.
Yeah. I you know, the funny thing is, like, you know, like I seen some man get in class and category as young Jenners and stuff like that. But I was like, yo, they're close to my age.
There's one of them in particular. English.
English. I was like, since when big up yourself English, my brother. Since when English is a young Jenner? English been out.
When we were around,
when we were around, you know. I guess because you know, like you know, like they see he doing his thing and stuff like that. They think he knew on the scene, but
that's funny.
But you know, but I would say this, and this is a very sensitive subject.
Yeah.
You know, I think because if you compare Atlanta to, all right, when you look at the Caribbean meccas in America, obviously New York, Miami, right, and then you got Toronto, which is a big thing, and I've personally gone through this where you based out of is a huge part.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I seen DJs that was based in foreign, they went back to where they're from and they just blown up, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
And then
you're right.
But Atlanta has some of the most talented DJs I've seen, and the reason because of that is the crowd is very hard to please over here.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
You know.
Yes.
So you gotta bring your A game, else
Yes.
you know,
Every time.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
So like if you get in dates in Atlanta, like you know how to play music, you know. But the thing is, if an outside man, I don't care how much dance you bust, an outside man or outside promoter, when they're looking for talent,
They don't look to Atlanta.
you could be the wickedest DJ. They skipping over Atlanta. They go New York, they go Toronto,
Florida.
they go Miami, and Jamaica, Trinidad. Like you know, if like you know, it's just a stigma. Like you want a wicked soca DJ. Oh, let's see what Trinidad has.
Yeah.
But a man in Atlanta could probably play soca better.
Way better.
But it's just where you base that. You know. Mm-hmm. So I bring this up all the time. Like as like Atlanta has held back a lot of DJs like being based there.
Yeah.
You know, and I would recommend to anybody, like, you know, like some people have their families and stuff here already and stuff like that. But if you trying to be out there, like if you're taking it serious and you want to, I tell them move. You know, if you have nothing keeping you here, like, honestly.
Yeah.
And there's nothing against the community here or some. It's just
that's real
it's just
talk.
a thing.
Let's keep it real. Keep it 100.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of talented DJs in Atlanta, and I think they have the opportunity to do like more stuff like
Outside of Atlanta.
Yeah, outside of Atlanta. But I think Atlanta, like being based in Atlanta, is one of the reasons they, you know. But hey, I just. I'm semi-retired now. So.
On that note, we'll catch you next time. Thank you, my brother.
Rico,
Thank you,
thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man, no problem.
All right. Shane Talon, my special guest today on Take 5. We'll catch you next time on another edition of Take 5.